Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we have it. Bhagavad-gita as it is. Translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, and my name is Bhagavad-gita. We're in the 9th chapter. We just read a verse before, how Krishna will accept an offering of a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, offered with love. So Krishna consciousness doesn't need to be very complicated, but we need to learn that focus, that direction. And that is a form of personal meditation, really. I'm reading text 27, which is also on the list of core verses that those of us who study it that way, we like to learn them by heart. Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerity you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform. Purport: thus, it is the duty of everyone to mould his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live, therefore he should accept the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies, therefore Krishna recommends do it for me, and this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money and accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditation on Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra around his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita. So this sounds a little a little much. What? The whole life, the whole day, everything we do. So Krishna is not demanding these things. He's giving us that opportunity. Because we come to a certain point in life, hopefully we come to that point in life, now that we have the human form, now that we have the ability, the capacity, the potential for spiritual self-realization. When asking these questions in life becomes the most urgent need. What is the meaning of life? Who am I? Where do I come from? And we read the Bhagavad-gita, and Krishna lets us know. Krishna tells us. Krishna gives us all this information, but it doesn't end there. He doesn't say, okay, you're a spirit soul, I'm God. That's all you need to know. Because obviously, we're here in this material world and we have somehow or another managed to forget Krishna. How is it possible? Krishna is everything. We've heard that in these chapters also, how whatever we look at in this world, it's simply an aspect of Krishna directly or indirectly. And when we start to look at the world in that way, we see Krishna everywhere. But because this is a process, and when we're in the beginning of the process, this means we're not at the end of the process. So we want to develop this Krishna consciousness further. And then Krishna says, yes, this is how you can do it. This is very practical. And this is, the greatest gift of the Bhagavad-gita is that it doesn't just tease us with some spiritual perfection very far away, very distant from us. It says, yes, you can come to me, Krishna says. You can offer me a leaf or a water. Anyone can do that. Really, anyone can do that. That's even in this culture that stems from the Vedic traditions. That's how you receive a guest. Because when a guest enters your house, it's supposed to feel so welcome and so at home that even if it's your enemy, he will forget that. Like this book, Bhagavad-gita, takes place just before the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So that was a great battle raging for, I think, 18 days. And they were fighting. They were fighting to death. But in the evening, they would visit one another. And they would eat together and they would talk together. And that enmity was put completely to the side. So that is, you'd receive a guest, and the guest should feel completely safe, completely at home, and completely welcome. So what do you offer? You offer a sitting place, you offer a drink of water, and pleasing words. Because everyone can do that. No matter how poor you are, how busy you are, it is always possible to offer a seat, a glass of water, and pleasing words. So Krishna also, we may not be rich, and we may be very busy in our lives, but Krishna gives us, he gives us a method to serve him, and also he reaches out and shows that he's not a perfectionist in that sense. It's not that you're going to offer him a glass of water and he's going to say, oh, it should have been 2 degrees colder. No, he accepts the love. And here, Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada spoke about Krishna consciousness. He didn't call this society the Society for God Consciousness. He called it Krishna consciousness because Krishna is God. But when we know him as Krishna, we come closer to him. We know him as a person. And Krishna consciousness means it's not a religion. It's not something you, you add as an afterthought on your life. You go through your whole important, busy life, and then maybe once a week you go to the religious place. No, we want to be able to steep our whole life in that Krishna consciousness, to have that consciousness of Krishna everywhere. So it's not, we call it a method, we call it a path of self-realization. But actually it's more a question of realizing, I want to say re-realizing, but maybe that's what realizing means. Come back to that original sense of who we are. And who we are is that individual spirit soul who is a person and has a personal relationship to Krishna. And that relationship means wanting with all our heart to please Krishna. And that loving feeling means you never forget him. Because if you're really, really strongly in love, that person is always the closest thing. It's the thought you always reach for. It's the motivation that's always moves you on in your life. And here, the previous verse, we spoke about offering food to Krishna, because we have a prayer that we chant before eating, and it's a Bengali prayer. It says, Sharira Vijayal. And this material body is like a network of senses leading to death. And of all the senses, the tongue is the most ferocious. It's very difficult to control the tongue, but Krishna, you're so kind. You have given us this prasadam. And prasadam is a food that is cooked with love for Krishna and offered to Krishna. And when Krishna eats it, it's still there. And then we eat it and we take prasadam. So that very basic thing in life, we all need to eat and we all need to sleep. And everything else can also be there. But if we don't have that eating and sleeping, then we will die. Or our body will die, obviously. So that very essential part of our life, we can dedicate it completely to Krishna. And we can do that with every aspect of our life. And that's what Bhagavad-gita is all about. Arjuna, Krishna did not advise Arjuna to go and sit in a temple or a forest somewhere and meditate. He said, go out and do your duty, but do it for me. So that's what we want to develop through our Krishna consciousness, is how to be able to be conscious of Krishna in our life. So that's, we think of the highest aspect of God consciousness, and we think of the most simple, basic aspects in our daily life, because that's how it... I don't want to say that's the trick, but that's the method. Krishna consciousness means being conscious of Krishna. So it's a question of learning how to be Krishna conscious throughout our whole life, and also learning how to set up our life in such a way that we can put Krishna in the center. So many nice verses. So happy to be here and read them one after another with you. And as I said, all the whole beginning of Bhagavad-gita up until the 9th chapter, you can find it. And the whole rest of the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna willing, we will record each and every verse going forward. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.